Welcome. This video is the second in the series of demos for the components of the Business Process Compliance Management tool suite. In this video, I'll show you how you can use the Compliance Rule Modeler to build expressions for your process controls and generate formal rules against which you can use to verify and monitor your business processes. The Rule Modeler allows compliance and business process experts to use patterns for their requirements to visually create expressions in a drag-and-drop fashion. This significantly facilitates the use of formal language for automated verification and monitoring of processes against requirements, because the business users are not required to go into the details of programming and using formal language. The Rule Modeler typically has a canvas that you can build your expressions on, and the toolbox that shows the elements that you can use to design expressions. We have basic process elements like roles and activities. We have patterns, basic patterns, and advanced patterns. We also have Boolean operators to connect multiple expressions to address more complex controls and requirements. Each expression you design in the Rule Modeler belongs to a process control that you have created and stored in your compliance repository. So if you need more information about how you create controls in your repository, please refer to the demo video for the Compliance Requirements Manager tool. Right now, I'll switch to the Requirements Manager tool to show you the control that we'll create the expression for. This is a control that belongs to a particular compliance requirement applicable to the loan approval process. Currently, our demo repositories already have the simplified versions of the processes, requirements, and other elements that's relevant to the loan approval process that takes place within a bank. So I'll show you the details of this control. I'll discuss the meaning of this control later, but right now we can see that it is a preventive process control which is selected to be automated. This means it's waiting for its formal rules to be defined for. So I'll switch back to the Rule Modeler and select this control to initiate the design of its expression. We start designing our expression with selecting the process control that we want to design the expression for. For that, I'll right-click anywhere on the canvas and press the menu item that says Select Controls to create the expressions. The Rule Modeler lists the controls that we have created using the Compliance Requirements Manager, and the initial list shows only those automated and preventive process controls that are yet waiting for the formal rules to be defined for. You can of course apply different filters here to view the controls for which you have already designed the expression and generated formal rules for. I'll select our sample control here, waiting for the expression to be designed for, which involves the segregation of duties requirement that we'll discuss. So I press Create Expression. Now my expression canvas is ready for the design, and the control is now added as a description onto my canvas. I'll use the sub-expression. I'll select the sub-expression from my toolbox and drop it on my canvas. The sub-expression acts as a container for my elements that I'm going to drag and drop. Now let's see what this control is about. Our sample control requires two activities: the verification of customer banking privileges and credit worthiness checks here in our loan approval process to be segregated. That is, two different people should be involved in the execution of these activities. So we'll simply use the segregated from pattern to connect these two activities and represent this control. First, I'll click the activity element on my toolbox and drop it on my sub-expression. The role modeler again retrieves the activities that we have already defined for the loan approval process from the business process repository. And if these activities are not defined yet, we can still create them right from here and start using them. So I'll search for the verify banking privileges activity and select it. So I'll do the same for the credit worthiness check activity. I'll select the activity in my toolbox, drop it here, and my credit worthiness check activity that belongs to the loan approval process is right here. Next, we'll simply use the segregated from pattern to link these activities. I'll select segregated from pattern here. I'll connect these activities. So in fact we are almost there. But if you check the description of the control that we use, you'll simply see an additional constraint that we have to handle, we have to capture. The control description says that the banking privileges should be done by the credit broker. So we have to assign a specific role to this activity. For that, I'm going to select the role element that we have already defined in our business process repository. Okay, role element. Again, the role modeler, the associate roles that we have already defined in our business process repository. I'll select the credit broker. And to specify the constraint, I'll simply select the perform by pattern to assign the credit broker to this activity. I'll save my expression. So here's our expression. Okay, the final step is to generate the formal rules and store them in the compliance repository. This is pretty simple as well. So all we have to do is to right click anywhere on the canvas and select generate formal rules. The rule modeler checks the syntax of the expression, and if it's properly designed, it generates corresponding formal rules using an appropriate formal language such as linear temporal logic, and stores them in the compliance repository. I'll select transform expression generate rules. Rules are successfully generated. You can still check out the rules that you have that are generated within the rule modeler. So I'll open the generated file here, which lists the rules using an XML structure, or alternatively, and in fact as a better option, you can use the Compliance Requirements Manager to weave these rules together with the control that we built the rules for. Okay, I switch to the Compliance Requirements Manager tool now. So this is our control waiting for the rules to be generated. So I'll close it and open it again. Okay, this is the one that it's selected, and here are the rules. So later these rules are used for the verification of business processes in different life cycle phases starting from the design time. Thanks for taking the time to watch our video. For more information about the framework and our tool suite, please visit the Business Process Compliance Management Framework website.